Hi, it's Bonner again. I'm working on a series of lessons about learning to read music. There's all kinds of music available for guitar in the form of tablature. So it makes sense that we should begin by gaining a little familiarity with tab. So that's what we're going to talk about today. Today we're going to talk about what tablature is and how to read it. Let's have a look here on the screen, and you'll see here's a picture of your guitar neck. And this is from the point of view looking down at your guitar lying flat on your lap. So the thick string nearest you is called the sixth string, and the thin E string farthest away from you is called the first string. Okay, so the strings are counted up 1, 2, 3, 4, 5, 6. For those of you who haven't already internalized or memorized the string names, the strings go from thickest to thinnest. If we count them from the closest, it's the sixth one is E, the one nearest you. The fifth one is A. The fourth one is D. The third string is G, the second string is B, and the first string, the skinniest E, is E. One way to remember that easily is Eddie. We'll go here. Eddie, 8, dynamite, good, bye, Eddie. Those are the string names. Now if you look at this next diagram, you're going to see what we have here is a visual representation of the same information, but of course without fret markers, and it's the same 6 strings. And you'll see we've got the same 6 string names on the left, and usually it'll say the word tab on the left, as it does here. And the lines that go across are a representation of your guitar lying flat on your lap. Those are just the strings. So the one closest to you on the tab diagram, the lowest one is the string 6, the thick E string, and the one highest up is the high E string. Okay? One reason that we have the thickest string at the bottom of the diagram, which seems to be upside down from what you're playing, is that the thickest E string makes the lowest note, and the highest E string, or the thinnest E string, number 1, makes the highest note. Part of the reason we do this is because that system emulates what we see on the musical staff, which we're going to see here, where the low notes are on the bottom of the staff and the higher pitched notes are on the top of the staff. So when we make our tablature look like that, it kind of puts it in the same realm as music on the staff. Now let's look at how we would represent a simple musical phrase. I'm going to play a little segment that I began with day 1 from Interstellar. And so here's our little phrase. Okay, and so on the tablature, what I do is I write on the string that I'm going to play, I write down the fret number of the note I'm going to play. So for this example, you can see the phrase here. My first note is 1 on the low E string on number 6, and then 3 on the D string, and then 2 on the G string, and then open, no fingers down on the high E string. And that gives me this. And then I play the high E and coming back to the G and the D, and that gives me 6 notes in this, which is the length of this phrase. Okay? And so in order to play that phrase, all I do when I see that on the tablature is I just hold down the note on the fret number that's shown and then play that string. And in a nutshell, that's what tab is. We can use tab to play any melody. We can use it to play chords, a lot of different things. But that's the basic idea, is you're looking for the string that you want to play and then the fret number that you're going to play that note. As you can see, with a bit of practice, tab is very simple to understand and to learn. And there's lots of tablature out there, so you can practice using songs that you already know. Just go hunting on Google for the tab for Johnny Be Good, and you're going to find some notes. Now, a little caveat, most of the tablature that's out there is done by volunteers, guitar students just like you and me, and as a consequence, there could be some mistakes in the tablature that you find. But for us to get started, that's okay. In addition to what string and what fret our notes are on in tablature, tablature also provides a fairly comprehensive set of symbols that show us when to use certain techniques. For example, chords are shown like this. So for our day one song, the F chord that begins it would be shown like this. Okay? Bends. Bends are a common technique, and a bend would be shown like this. Okay? A hammer-on is when we swing a finger onto the guitar and create an extra note just with our fingertip, like this. Slide-ins are shown like this. If you look at the Bonner guitar page, there's a section about learning guitar techniques, and the techniques and how they're shown on tab is presented there in a series of very short lessons that I'm adding to all the time. So go and help yourself. And if you want a single sheet that shows you all the different symbols that represent these different techniques, just send me an email, bonner.harris@gmail.com, and I'll email you a free PDF sheet with a summary of probably the 24 or 30 most common technique symbols that we're going to use. So what tablature has going for it, as we've already seen, is simplicity. It's easy to learn, it's easy to practice with, it's easy to play from, and there's a lot of it available out there on the internet for free. So the downside of tablature is that the annotation for rhythm and phrasing is very simplistic and is often not used at all or not used precisely. So tab can tell you what to play, okay? It can tell you the techniques to use fairly accurately, but it does fall short as a method of annotating phrasing, the timing of how riffs happen. I'm playing something like this. Then picking that up off of tab could be a little bit tricky because the rhythmic notation is quite sorely lacking. As instrumental musicians, of course, we have a backup system, and that is the best source of timing information is to actually listen to a performance of the song that we're trying to learn and listen closely to the phrasing that's being used on those notes. However, sometimes it's really helpful, sometimes it's essential to have a more precise notation of rhythm and phrasing. And when we do, then we have to take the next step up beyond tab, and we need to start reading music on the staff. The good news is that I have lessons coming about how to read music on the staff and how to easily teach yourself how to read from the staff, especially if you have a little bit of a beginning with tablature. And that's in lessons that are coming up soon, so watch the channel. So there's a very beginner entryway to learning what tablature means. When you're looking at all those numbers and lines, now you have a good idea what they are. My strongest recommendation is to hunt for the tablature for some music that you already know, and just learn a little phrase here and a little phrase there, and you'll begin to get more familiar with how to read tab and how to play your instrument, and also begin to become aware of where the notes are in the neck, which is a critical piece of information we need to know, and we need to know it quite fluently, so you can never practice it too much. If you want to learn more about the basics of where the notes are in the neck and how do we learn more about the notes in the neck and some general introductory information to help you feel more comfortable on your guitar, there's a couple of videos coming up here and coming up here, and you can grab one of those and learn some more stuff right away. Come back soon, and I'm going to talk to you again about how to take the next step from playing off of tablature to learning how to play from the staff.